is beautiful, but what's even more powerful is masterminds.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about. And when we say masterminds, I want you to not get overwhelmed by that word, because a mastermind could be a community. It could be a group. A mastermind, what Napoleon Hill said is that if you get two people together, it creates like a third brain.
Mind, yes.
A third mind. And that's it. It's the collaboration of everybody in the room getting smarter, or everybody on the Zoom call, or everybody on Skype. So when we say mastermind, that's this. That's a monthly live online training. It's a workshop at the local hotel. It's the accumulation of all of it. Workshops, masterminds, groups. And the cool part about it is watching this come to life. Let's just talk about Lisa. Can you pull this up?
Yeah, that's great.
Lisa Hyde. Let me tell you, Lisa, she worked in the entertainment industry. She told the story. She's probably watching right now. She told the story that she was in one of the agencies in California, and she knew CIA. She knew you were coming in. She's like, I want to see Tony. And then you came in, and she hid in her office. She said, he was just so big, I was scared. I hid in the office. But she was a great businesswoman for a long time, but she knew there was more. She wanted to coach, didn't know what to do. She watched us last year. She got involved with the KBB method, used more of our information that we're going to share with you. And now she's on her third mastermind. This is her full-time thing, and she runs high-level masterminds, and it's a community. She creates in her eyes, it's all women. It's all women in business who want to go to the next level. And I know
some haven't even started a business. She's helping them to do it like step at a time, and some are in business, and she's helping them solve those problems. And she had these skills, but she didn't realize, hey, I could make this my life, and it's so much more fulfilling. I love empowering women, and now I could earn more than I was doing anything else, doing what I love. I mean, that's what this game is all about. That's what the knowledge business is.
Yeah, and Lisa's on the high end. Again, it's not a magic money machine. This is following a process, putting in the work, and impacting lives. Remember what Tony said, impact and success. How great to have both. And that's what Lisa's doing. She was raised by a single mom, and she's dying to help women, and she's doing it. I'm proud of her. The next part is workshops, right? So a workshop could be an online workshop. Again, really just, to me, they're all kind of the same. It's just whatever you want to name it. But if you hear workshop...
We don't mean a workshop where you got to go rent a room. You could do that. Yeah. But we're talking about today, you can do all this online on Zoom with people. I mean, it's just amazing. You can get clients from literally 100 countries. Well, you're all here from all over the world.
Yeah, think about that.
Right? You're all doing it right now with us. We're having a workshop. But it's different than trying to rent the room, go to the place. You can do that. We can show you how to do that as well. But this is the place to start.
There's somebody starting on day one. Just think about that. Whether that's an experience, whether that's a skill, whether that's something you studied, you have skills, and somebody's starting on day one, and you can help them go faster. You can help them start off where you left off. We just got to show you, which we'll in the next section, how to build the confidence to do it with zero questions. And the last part is masterminds and groups, and I love this. Could you pull this one up really quick? Navina. What I love about Navina is she was a dance teacher, and then she volunteered in
in Serbia, right?
In Serbia. She volunteered in a shelter for kids, in a nursery. And while she was there for 5 years, you could pull this down, Mike, for 5 years while she was volunteering, and this is reading her whole story, she recognized that especially special needs children.
And that's her specialty.
That's her specialty. And she realized that the teachers and the parents and the kids were all stressed because they were teaching the kids one way, and they were teaching the parents one way, and they were teaching the teachers another way. And she just saw this magic congruency that she said, no, I need to shake the parents and say, you could reduce stress by doing this. I want to shake the teachers and have them do this. And then we can teach the kids and make this congruent circle. She took that passion. She did her first event, and over 100 teachers and staff showed up, and parents, to her event, and this is what she's doing full time now.
Think about this. Before, she's not a psychologist, she's not a psychiatrist, and yet she's teaching child development and psychology because she has practical knowledge about a specific group of people, children that have disabilities, and she learned it by being a volunteer over 5 years in Serbia, and she knows the most stressful environment, she knows real solutions, and people are willing to listen to her because she has some life experience. That's what you got to know that's different today. When I started coaching, there was no coaching. No one called it coaching. I didn't want to be a motivator.
I remember when you were attacked by therapists because
I was attacked by therapists all the time in those days. You're not qualified. Now that doesn't happen. I've trained tens of thousands of therapists. My partner's trained 100,000 therapists in my technology. We get certified in my technology with therapists today. But they all call themselves coaches now, most of them, right? Coaching is the direction to go, but masterminding with coaching is a different piece. Now, instead of just one-on-one, you have the exponential. And you're going to learn more. In masterminds, it's not a one-way street. Like when I'm coaching some of the greatest leaders in the world, I don't have the delusion that I'm just here to coach them. I'm not an idiot. I'm learning. And as the years have gone by, as I've taught them and learned from them, I've accumulated so much knowledge and skill, and I can coach anybody on earth and have an impact. That's what's going to happen with your masterminds. You're going to learn from your own people, from the conversations, the pieces that go there. It also makes it so much more fun and meaningful and interesting. And by the way, if you want to know what makes people happy, people stop me all the time. They go, you've worked with, how many tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people? I've had 4 million people in my life seminars. I've had over 1 billion people involved in the programs. I said, the number one thing you need to be happy is progress. Progress equals happiness. If you're not even to your goal yet, but you get started and you start moving forward, you start to lose a little weight, you start to change your relationship, you start to build a business, you're going to have a level of excitement. See, when you achieve everything you want, you feel good for how long?
Right.
A few minutes, a few weeks, a few months, a few years, probably not a few years, because we're supposed to keep growing. And when we grow, we have something to give.
Right. And at the end of your life, get to say, I did something meaningful, right?
I don't even wait till the end of your life.
Yeah, exactly. At least looking back, right?
That's right.
And let me just ask, we just talked about workshops, communities, groups. What would you do? Type it in and Jeremy, you can let me know. Type it in the comments. Would you do an online half-a-day Zoom community call? Would you do a workshop? Would you love to have people at your house? Would you love to have people at your business? If you're a professional looking to transition, if you're doing a side business or you're already in business, would you have them come to their office? Let us know below, because we look at all these. I know the comments are probably coming in like crazy, but we get to look at them later. So let us know. All right, let's get to the second topic. Yep. The second topic is, I loved how you called it today, you simplified it. 3 ways to play. Yeah. Right? But it really is.
This is how you play. It's how you get to enjoy it.
How do you identify what that skill is? Because if I was you and I'd be watching, it's like Tony and Dean are on fire. I could tell they love it, but it's Tony Robbins and it's Dean Graziosi. I got to put that together. That sounded really good. But you might be saying, you guys are experts. How do I get in this game? How do I do it? And that's why I want to break this down, and 3 ways to play is great. And the first one is basically being the expert, right? What does that mean? An expert could mean that you have a chapter, a year, 5 years, 10 years in a certain industry.
Yeah.
And
an insight, a set of skills, a strategy, anything that can make you more effective in that area that someone else in your same seat or similar seat could benefit from. That's where the value is. That's where the added value is that you get paid for. And you might say, I don't know how to organize it, how to structure it. Don't worry about that. We're going to show you exactly how to do that based on 66 years of experience and putting on the best programs in the world. How to do a mastermind is even easier. We'll show you that. But if you start out as an expert, we'll give them an example.
Yeah, so look at Dior. If you could pull that up really quick. Dior has an incredible story. I had the chance to meet her. Actually, she came over to my house. We did this great interview. Long story short, she grew up in Brazil with nothing. She ended up having to leave Brazil because of some terrible things that happened in her life. She went to London, learned English, came to America. Long story short, she landed a great job, and she was in PR and marketing for a great firm for 18 years, dominated, did great, rise up through the ranks, but then she wanted to have a baby. And she said she didn't want to be in corporate America. She had a baby. She quit the job, and her son was 3 years old. And she said at 3 years old, she's like, I love being a mama, but I'm a boss babe, or whatever she called herself. She's like, I need to accomplish. I need to go back into the world and deliver value. But she said, but I don't want to go back to corporate America. I don't want to go to corporate America again. I don't want a 9 to 5. I'm going to raise my son, not somebody else, but I still want to impact. I still want to bring in income. Perfect timing. She watched Tony and I last year. She got.
By the way, she didn't think she had an expertise when she got the program.
Yeah,
right?
she didn't.
She didn't realize I got 18 years in this area where I could really help other people. That's what happens for people.
Yeah, and well, the other thing too is she bought courses in the past, multiple courses, and she never finished one.
That's right.
She didn't think she was an expert. She didn't think she had a niche, and that's probably a lot of you. And the reason most people don't finish is because of those 3 things.
That's right.
It was missing either the mindset, the right tactics, or the implementation. So Dior, I got to sit down with her. So here's what she did. She wanted to combine a couple things. She said, I've been in PR and marketing forever. I am an expert. We showed her how to unlock her confidence. We'll talk more about that later. That's in the next section. She unlocked her confidence, and now she's done 6 high-end masterminds like Lisa, but she goes back to Brazil, and she's given back to her home country by helping business owners in Brazil have better marketing and PR strategies. She's already done 6, and she's got 4 more scheduled. She's going down.
And what's so cool is she's doing them here, and she's doing them there, and she wants to do some live there. So each quarter she goes back to her home country and helps people.
It gives her a reason to go back to her home country.
But she's with her son every single day, right, doing her business. I mean, it's the absolute ideal to be able to live life on your terms.
Yeah, and again, when we say expert, I think a lot of people think initials after your name or been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're in something for 5 years, you had failures, you had successes, you learned so much. Right now, and we're all connected, there are so many people starting on day one. Picture them at the edge of day one going, do I go back to school? Do I try to figure this on my own? No, somebody's already been there. Hey, who's already done this specific niche in art, in hair, in cosmetology, in accounting, in sales, in e-commerce? And that's where the world is going. And I would bet to say you have unconscious competence that's waiting to be explored and shown to the world. And when you understand how to identify the people that want it, which we'll talk about in the next section, you'll see why you are more of an expert than you think. But then this is the second one, and we didn't talk about this one last year, Tony, but over the last year, and again, this is crazy. These are like 1,100 wins that have come in, and they just printed. So that's not, I didn't even grab all of them. My hands aren't big enough.
Our community is made up of 24,000 people in 150 countries, and there are 4,300 different niches. We get 100,000 plus 120,000 messages a month from everybody sharing back and forth with the successes of what they're doing and questions and how to make it to go to the next level. It's a dynamic experience.
And the one that came out in the last year that was bigger than I thought is turn your mess into a message. So think about this. Think about a bad experience that happened in your life, that when it happened, and we've both been through them, we've all been through them, you're like, I don't know if I can get through this. And through this trial and error, you figured out a way to come stronger. Maybe you did research, you got a counselor, you went to coaching. Whatever you did, you came out on the other side. How many people are starting day one with that mess and are looking around for help? And you have the opportunity to allow them to jump over a lot of that pain, right? Think about this. This is Kristen Travis. I had the chance to meet Kristen too. We have so many students, and my team just keeps flying them in, and I love me. But Kristen went through a mess. She was married for 10 years, and unfortunately, she went through a divorce, and it started getting real ugly. And it got
ugly for the kids,
and ugly for the kids too. And she recognized that. And my heart goes out to her because she saw it, and she said enough one day, and she built a framework around putting the kids first on how to make her divorce nice, even though things weren't perfect. She needed to make her divorce nice. She needed to co-parent kindly. It's actually, she calls it divorcing nicely and co-parenting kindly. And here's what she said to me. She goes, Dean, I knew I was supposed to be a coach and a mentor my whole life. And she said, I just didn't think I was an expert. She goes, I decided to get the KBB method and work with you and Tony, but I was like, I'm not really an expert. And she goes, it just hit her. I am an expert because I was going through something messy and I fixed it. Now her full-time thing is she owns a coaching company and a training company, and all she does is train adults going through a divorce on how to do it kindly and how not to mess up your kids.
You know what's beautiful about that? You save families, because even if they separate, it's still a family, right? It's still the same parents, and there's a love there, and there's a joy there, and the kids grow up in a different environment. So she not only has a beautiful business, but she has a life that's so meaningful. I get teary-eyed thinking about it, because this is what keeps me going. I've been doing this for 43 years. It's the chance to see that somehow something you've learned, some pain you've been through, can help other people. Every time I've gone through issues in my life, and I've been through so many, I've done, all the business I've had businesses that were on the edge of bankruptcy. I turned them around. I learned what to do. Marriage situations, children as they're growing up challenged. I can't even tell you so many things, just like anybody. But the thing that's kept me going throughout my life is when a really rough situation happens, my first response in my head is, well, my first response is stress, but my second response is, I'm not the only person who has this problem. If I can solve this problem, I know I can help millions of other people do the same. And I want, if you can solve any problem, or if you've already done it, you can help dozens or hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people as well, especially in a world where we have the ability to scale things so easily, so cheaply, because of social media and because of the internet. It's a different world, and you have a chance to have that kind of impact. Congratulations to Kristen. I love what she's doing, not only for economics, but I love what she's doing that's saving families.
Yeah, I do. I love it. And then the last one is the reporter. So you got the expert, mess the message. The last one is reporter. I mean, that's what Tony, he mentioned it before. I don't have to go in detail. He wrote Money Master the Game, one of the best financial books ever. Tony's great with finances, but he's not the financial expert. He went and interviewed the top experts. And we have so many people that just obsess and geek out on other people's expertise. They learn it intimately, and then they become the expert. And guess what happens when you share it? You end up becoming the expert the more you share it.
Exactly.
So think about this. Pull this up really quick. I want to share about Carl.
Carl's a great example.
I want to share this. Carl was in a band for 30 years, like a really successful band. They toured with Metallica. What's up, Carl, if you're there? the band kind of split up. It ended. Carl realized he had to go out and get a job. He got corporate America job. Now imagine a guy 30 years on the road. He said he commuted an hour and a half.
I mean, they opened for, who they opened for?
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica. I mean, this guy was very successful in what he was doing. And you think about being a rock and roll star, and then boom, suddenly it's over overnight. What do you do with your life?
Yeah, so he was at the 9 to 5, hour and a half commute each way. He said it was like walking into a prison, closed his door. It was like closing the cell door.
Corporate America, yeah.
Corporate America, and I mean, especially one extreme to another. Then he decided, I'm going to get into e-commerce. And he tried it, dabbled a little, didn't work, but then he geeked out and obsessed for a year learning how to do e-commerce. He watched us last year, got more information, and freaking went out and just destroyed it. He's one of the top trainers on e-commerce. This is his thing. There's no more corporate America. He said that his, again, results vary and everybody's different, but this guy went all in, quit the job. He said, now my commute is 18 steps to the living room.
Instead of an hour and a half each way. Well, the best thing is that he said, correct me if I'm wrong, is he said he has more enjoyment today than when he's traveling with a band. He thought that was the greatest part of his life. He thought the greatest part of his life was over, but he said, yeah, never understood what it felt like to contribute, make a difference for so many other people, and he's doing it on his terms.
I know.
You know?
So,
and he's not beating the hell out of his body.
So the reason we love Mastermind, speed of implementation, speed of impact, speed of success. And we don't think there's a better way and a faster way to take what you know and bring it to the world because they want it. And then I just wanted to go through this really quick because we surveyed the people that are in our community and said, what are the reason you almost didn't take action and make this a part of it? They said, I wasn't sure this could work in my niche. As a matter of fact, I asked my team to print this out. So if you think about this.
Tape it together.
Yeah, we had to tape it together. 4,700. You see this roll? This roll goes from here to the other side of our building, but it's everything you could possibly imagine. And every niche possible, like we had Bell Carpenter. Bell teaches neuroplasticity. I can't say that word. Neuroplasticity. He said after 23 years of being in yoga and meditation, now he's competing with the big dogs. We had this woman, Jackie, teaches dog owners how to be better at training their dog. And this one, I love this one. Brittany helps artists.
This is hysterical.
She helps artists that need a breakthrough. Who thought these niches, right?
Well, but like people, to clarify, people that are stuck, people that say, I can't do it, whether they're writers or artists or painters, and in a stuck mode. Tell them her solution.
Yeah, so her solution was, she needed to, and this is combining two niches. Sometimes the way you find your confidence is combining two niches or do a niche within a niche. What she did is drawing and being an artist alongside of wolves. Yeah. She calls it painting with wolves or artists with wolves. She literally
brings the wolves in while you do the painting and shows you how to put yourself in a state by being around them where creativity flows. I mean, that is in a unique niche, and she's successful. It's crazy.
I don't know if you could see this, but this roll, I don't know, it just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. These are 4,300 different niches.
More than we ever thought.
More than we ever thought possible.
And that's just out of the 25,000 people.
Just out of the 25,000, yeah, exactly. It's amazing what's going on. So let's get to the last section, and this is the part that I think is most important, and we want to get to it. I know we're going a little long here, but we're really excited, so I hope you're sticking with us. We got some great things to share. Here's the thing. If I was you, I'd say, okay, I understand this industry. It's flourishing. I understand that I'd love to make impact. I'd love to transition, do something that's meaningful. I'd love to grow my success. I understand that, masterminds are the new way, faster, quicker. Technology made it so it can happen like that. I also understand that I could be the expert. I could turn my mess into a message. I could be the reporter. The last thing left is like, how do you find the people? Yeah. How do you get people? How do you market this? How do you market this? How do you get people to raise their hand and be a part of it? And that's why the world is shifting. That's why Tony and I decided to do this. That's why we're working so hard, because the world has gotten smaller. Instead of social media using you, you can use it. Yeah. Think about this. And when you have the ability to use social media, when you identify what you're good at and look for people that want that exact thing, you'll be blown away at the opportunity you have to target them and get them to be with you.
Yes, and whenever I train people in business, obviously, at this stage of my life, and I've taken some of the most multi-billion-dollar businesses, help them grow, and somebody who's just beginning their business. I work on both extremes, and what you really need to know is the business is really two things. It's innovation and marketing. Those are big words. What does innovation mean? It doesn't mean you have the newest high-tech thing. Innovation means you find a better way to meet people's needs. You find something they need that no one else is delivering. Sometimes that's attention. Sometimes that's a better price. Sometimes that's an insight they don't have, or a strategy or a tool. But then you have to be able to market it. And marketing today, what would you say, easy or hard? I know you can't yell back to me. I'm sure you'll type in the screen here. But which one do you think of this, easy or hard today? I would say it's easier to market. There's more, but it's harder to get people to pay attention because where is advertising today? It's everywhere. It's on people's bums. It's on bananas. It's everywhere, right? But there's a way to step out from everybody else by becoming an expert. There's a way where people want to hear from you because you're not just selling them. You're adding value. You're giving them something of true value up front that makes them say, hey, tell me more. Enter my world. I want something of what you have.
That's the privilege we have in today's world with today's marketing is it's like everybody has black shirts on and you understand the process that we're showing you and going to teach you more of is how to be the only person with a red shirt on. How do you stick out? And that's crafting an irresistible offer. That's using social media rather than it using you. When we were doing infomercials, it was casting a wide net. You hope someone walked by the TV and got your stuff. That doesn't happen anymore. We go right after exactly who wants what it is you have to offer. And here's the cool part. Because of this transition, because of the shift in media, because of this targeting, people like Shanika, could you pull that up real quick? Shanika, same story, and I'm going to tell this one quick, and then I want to get right to the next part, because this is the part that I can't wait for. Shanika was in corporate America. The rest of her family thought she was successful. She didn't because she couldn't be there with her kids. She had 4 children, 1 on the way, long commute, similar kind of story to Carl. She ended up doing her own thing and got into real estate on her own, and in 1 year, she did great. You know what she's doing now? She's empowering women in real estate on how to take ownership of their life, and she's doing great. And she did all of this through Facebook and word of mouth. She had over 100 women at her first event. Over 100 women. This is what she's doing full time right now, and I love it. And then I wanted to put Christopher in here because with 7,000 people who showed up, he did all of it through existing followers, social media, and paid Facebook ads. This is somebody who's taken it to another level.
Listen, the next one he said he's going to do 15,000 people.
15,000 people.
And listen, imagine that. It took me 35 years to get to that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You know? If you're a coach or a mentor, this is the way to exponentially grow it and really understand it. Hey, it's Dean. I told you I was going to jump back in. Do you see why now, when I said this may be the most important video you could ever watch, especially of Tony and I? Do you see why? The world has shifted. The world has gone virtual. People are at home needing specialized knowledge. The last time the economy turned, Tony's business, my business grew because people wanted unfair advantages. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you're sharing. The world is home, waiting for you to deliver what you know. We feel so blessed that we've been in this industry between the two of us for 60 plus years, and we've been watching it grow exponentially. But with this shift, it's going to grow really fast, and we don't want you to be left behind. We don't want you to miss out or have envy when other people are thriving in the digital economy and you're not. And that's why we wanted to create the blueprint and give you the process and the systems and everything we've discovered to jump in. And now more than ever, God, this is the perfect time. Now, before I share exactly what Tony and I have created, I wanted to make sure we summed it up so you understood. I know Tony and I get excited and maybe we missed something or went too fast, and maybe we've been in this for so long, we assumed you understood certain things. So let me go to the whiteboard here, and I'm at home, like most people are. I set this up myself, but I want to share what this industry is all about. Remember, we talked about you could share your skill. You know, we showed a lot of examples of people extracting what they know. You know, we have people sharing how to cut hair, how to fly fish, how to be better at art, how to organize closets better, how to fix a marriage, how to eat vegan, how to naturally feed your baby, breastfeed a better way, like everything you could possibly imagine, helping moms rebound after birth. Every single thing you could possibly imagine, over 4,300 different niches, people are extracting what they know and sharing it with people who are raising their hand and say, I want that. I want to learn from somebody who's been through it. So you're either going to share your skill, your expertise, your passion, your hobby, or you're going to be the reporter of other people's expertise, right? Like Tony did with Money Master the Game. He's not the financial expert. He just interviewed the top financial experts. I just saw one of the people in our community just held an event in Europe with 140 people. He got a Zen master to come in. He partnered with the Zen master, reported on his knowledge, and they did the event together. It was a monster hit, but it was based on someone else. He just had the skill. So you can share your own skill. You could be the reporter, or you can turn your mess into a message. I shared with you the woman who went through a divorce where she put her children first and created a process. And now she's helping other couples going through a divorce to make it child-centered and make it amicable and make the kids thrive, right? The other mom whose son had eczema, She figured out this mess, cleared it up, and now she teaches other parents how to naturally cure eczema in kids. And I understand that because my son had it. So this is what you're going to be. You're going to share your own knowledge, which everybody has knowledge. I promise you, you have a skill, a hobby, a passion that people need. Or you're going to be the reporter, or you could be the interviewer. You could be the reporter by interviewing people that are super smart or understand that niche, something you're passionate about, or you're going to turn your mess into a message. Now, once you do that, you're going to virtually, now you can do it in person or virtual, but in today's world,